So, in allowing that wound to come up to the surface, okay, this is a part really that is a process, okay? When you're allowing the wound or when you are triggered, I don't want you to run from it. I don't want you to run from it this time because running from it is understandable, but running from it gives it power. And that's how powerful you are. That's how powerful you are. So I don't want you to run from the pain of the wound. I want you to allow it to come up. When we allow that wound or the pain of the wound to come up, the next thing that you do is take an inventory of asking yourself the question, where did this wound come from? Why do I feel triggered? And where did the root of it come from? I'll give you guys a very prime example. So when I talked about how my wounds was fear, I really had an issue with just being afraid of life. Like that was just my belief. That was just my understanding. And so instead of living my life with trust and trust within myself, I lived my life with defense. I lived my life with fear. I was just afraid, even though love was all around me. Because I had that trauma and that experience within me, it was due to a childhood experience. And further back, I'm going to go a little bit further back, the trauma or the fear that I had was created in my mother's womb. In my mother's womb. I'm sorry, I said wound. In my mother's womb. In her womb was when she was carrying me, she experienced a lot of trauma, and I came out. I came into the world with that same energy that she was carrying. And so you may have had a similar story where you really weren't even aware that you were carrying, that you were carrying on a subconscious level, that you were carrying someone else's energy or that you were carrying other energies that wasn't the truth of who you really are. You know, people, black people, people of African descent are privy to trauma because we came into the world with carrying the energies that our ancestors carried, of being snatched out of Africa, okay, of experience being stripped away from our families and being abandoned and taken away in the middle of the night. And so energy is energy, okay? Energy is energy, and oftentimes we could be carrying other people's stuff. We could be carrying the energy that our ancestors never had the experience or the opportunity to release. Okay? And I'm here today, so if that is your story, I'm here today to share with you how to release those wounds. Because no matter how deep the wound is, no matter how deep the wound is, you still have the power to release the pain. Woo! Isn't that amazing? That you still have the power, no matter how deep it is, no matter how in depth it is, no matter how long it's been, no matter how long it's been in your family. The agreement that you have the power to heal it. You. Because God has given you that power. I'm no Bible scholar, but I do know that there was a verse where Jesus was talking about how I've given you the power to tread upon serpents. And I don't I really don't think that it literally means a physical serpent. Um, when I think of a serpent, I think of something that appears to be intimidating, right? Or when you think of a serpent, I think of fear, like, oh my God, right? And so when that verse sticks out to me, it reminds me of how you have the power. You have the power, but it's like, okay, well, now how do I access it? And it's in unlocking that power that you already have. See, all of us have the power, but it's where we're directing the power to that oftentimes we're not aware of. All of us have the power, but it's where we are directing that power to that oftentimes we are not aware of. And we're acting out that power, and we have, it's like you become unaware. You become unaware. And so on my journey, all that God did was awaken me consciously to show me the power that I had. So, and the power that you have. So in allowing the wounds to come up to the surface, it's asking the question, like I stated earlier. Number one, asking the question, why am I triggered and where did this come from? Finding the root. And I gave the example of oftentimes the root can happen when you were a child, or the root can happen before you came into the world, or the root could, the trauma or the wound could be experienced from ancestor wounds, right? And so even though how depth and how long it might have been, or you may have carried it unconsciously or consciously, whatever it is, that you have the power to heal it. You have the power to heal it. So now when asking yourself the question and getting to the root, it's like, oh, the root of it is fear. Or, when you think of, oh, it was because I felt abandoned, or the energy of abandonment, or, oh, it was because I felt like that I wasn't worthy, or, oh, it's because I didn't feel like I was enough, or, oh, it's because I didn't like myself. Okay, well, those energies and perspectives and beliefs that you might have that caused the wound, that caused the wall, that caused you to guard your heart, that caused all of those wounds, or agreements that you might have had, that you might have made, and I'll talk about that in another video, the agreements that you might have made on an unconscious level, that now that you are aware, when you are triggered, this is the opportunity where your soul is saying, okay, God presents the opportunity, but this is the time where your soul is saying, okay, like, wait a minute, something's off here. Your soul is divinely intelligent, and it is love. It is made from love. It is made from God. This is who we are. This is who we divinely are. This is who we divinely are. And when we attach ourselves to these wounds, the soul, our spirit, our true selves, or our higher selves, which is made from love, which is love, divine love, unconditional love, unwavering, it's made of power, it's made of wisdom, it's made of truth, okay? It's made of the very divine essence of where we come from. It's made from our creator, okay? We come from that very essence, the verse where it says that I am the vine and you are the branches, right? So we come from the very thing, we come from that, and we are that. And so anything that seems off, or anything that might be triggered, or that might trigger the very thing within you, this is your divine soul saying, something's off. And so when you are triggered, the soul is saying, it's the trigger part is the soul saying, get this off of me, or this is not who we are. This is not who we are. Okay? And it will constantly present itself, the triggers will constantly present itself, or the wounds will constantly present itself as an opportunity for you to clear it. So don't be intimidated by it. That's how intelligent your soul is. If you've been taught that you're nothing, or if you've been taught that you're not enough, it took a minute for me to tap into that truth. That truth was always there, but I was so guarded by all the other stuff that was protecting me from my own truth that was protecting me from my own spirit, protecting me from the very divine essence. And so when the triggers come up, I want you to allow it to come up, because it is the opportunity to heal you. Now, here's the thing. When it comes up, I want you to say this. As it is coming up, I want you to be mindful. Be mindful of your body. Be mindful of when it's triggered. Be mindful. And how do we become mindful? We breathe. We breathe. When you're breathing, you're giving that yourself the opportunity to feel the feelings. Be in the feeling and allowing it to come up. Because a feeling, it comes from a root pain. And when you acknowledge the root of that pain and you give yourself the allowance to release it, this is when you have clarity in thought. This is when you tap into your divine intelligence. This is when you tap into the mastery of who you are. When you get to the root. Okay? The trigger's at the top, right? Right? The trigger's at the top, causes emotion, causes crying, causes whatever that feeling is, causes the pain, causes you to feel angry. More importantly, when those triggers come up, do your best to get somewhere where you can release for you. Okay? Get somewhere where you can release for you. Don't dump that stuff off. Don't dump it on other people. Don't dump it on the ones that you love. Even though, okay, you might say, oh, God, I did that in the past. Raising my hand. Oh, man, I lashed out. I have done that. I have spoken ill, or I have, said things that wasn't right. Out of my own pain. Out of my own wounds. Okay. Let's not beat up ourselves over it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Because you didn't know any better. You didn't know any better. You were representing the wounds, the walls that you had. But it is in you. Okay? So we're breaking that down today. So allowing them to come up. And then as you allow the triggers to come up and identifying the root of it, where it came from, I want you to listen to the voice within you that is speaking. Listen to God as it is speaking and giving you the instructions of how to heal. It might not even be an instruction. It might just be a feeling of relief or release. And you are able to hear clearly. You're able to have good signal. You're able to have good signal because there won't be the distorted wounds or the bitterness talking or all of the anger. It won't be that clouding your intuition, clouding what God is speaking to you. It won't be that. It won't be that. You'll be able to walk in clarity. You'll be able to walk in sight, true vision. True vision. You'll be able to hear the instructions. You'll be able to love in the place that you were meant to love unconditionally. Okay? And this is how you heal yourself. Yay! So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this video. I'll say on this YouTube. But thank you guys for joining me on my video. I have plenty more to come. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if you would like to hear more. As I said, I stated all the links of how to get in contact with me at the bottom. But that's all I got for right now, y'all. I will talk to you guys later with more videos. Bye.